Okay. Give me a few seconds to sort it out. YouTube looks stable. Twitch looks stable. Double fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. We're doing 2 updates today. We are doing the update for the thing, and then I think we're also going to redo this because I'm not happy with the way this goes. I believe the roles will be the same, but I want to rewrite that so it's like more in keeping. Both minor disco. Okay. Yeah. He waves at your they can you're trying Hey Koba, how are you doing? No, no. Huh. No, I don't know. Wait, lag? I'm not sure. But like a lot of puzzle, like I don't solving puzzles is weird because like either I'm doing like technical work and that's a puzzle, or I'm doing like I rarely do like recreational puzzles. I do like those like test tube sorting games. I have one of those that I've been playing for basically forever. Hope you your breath. And I think about how you're taking breathe. Yes. Okay. But yeah, I don't normally do a lot of puzzles, so like, especially not recreationally. So I mean, like, I'll do some puzzles. Uh, I'll do some puzzles like on like for on a technical basis for like work and stuff. Yeah, I don't really do a lot of puzzles. Okay. I mean, in theory. Eh? Oh, over here. In theory, you could call this thing a puzzle. Oh, that's not really a puzzle. That's just a secret that you're trying to discover. But yeah, you could call this you could call this a puzzle that I was doing, which is my fusion calculations. No, so the difference between a puzzle and a secret is that with a puzzle, you have some idea towards the end and everything is in one place, right? What you have there is just an Easter egg. But yeah, I did all the math for fusion thrust calculations. I didn't do the orbital mechanics of it because I did not want to learn about literal rocket science. Already did rocket science, but the hard part of rocket science, I didn't want to do that. So Koba. Oh, Koba. Good. If he looks little good. Much. He grabbed some berries from among your pile. Challenge by model. Some berries. You see his magic almost immediately. It's rendered to a fine into a liquid that spins as he spins over his fingertips as he digs around your for a few ingredients. For a few a little sugar is for you the time he by the time he has laid out his the liquid has formed into thin red pocket. That is place one of your barley magical some sugar joins the thinnest plastics forming let's say easily to bright Sugar. And begin to digging through the regions. Okay. Do you have anything or listen? It feels feel your tummy. You not still not entirely following what real Maru. You pick out small, pick out a what's the name of the thing? Um, Tower. But we or we from the by the time we take care of working of the to sometime through the park. The honey and mixture is add quickly add the honey. It has at some side you are unable to survive. I think and starts thinning the math in some sort. Assign fiber like woolen like that cotton or flax or flax quickly take shape in the air above growing in this. It's not as magical as your oh, there's dinner. 1 second. Okay. Okay. What's the name of the damn ages? Unspun Autumn name. Like, um, 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 what? Magic. Bleach. Um, 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 hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'll get right back. You wash my hands. Had my dinner. Oh. Um. Hey Muffin, how you doing? Yeah. I saw you got several PBs during your during your runs today. No. There's which I'll find. Yeah. Yeah. You happy with your progress today? Just a little dumbfounded. We do math. Like it takes you a little. Understood. It takes you a little. Takes you a little while to find another spirit. But things almost expect you give it some of the mass circular. It is death. Excited. Yeah, it was great. You have to remember that something like 90% of all streams on Twitch don't see more than 3 viewers. Right? No, is it like, no, it's 50%, something like that. Like what? There's a number, there's like 3 viewers is like a significant portion of Twitch never sees more than 3 viewers at the same time. Like on average, right? Yeah, stream viewer number. Twitch 3 viewers. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to find out what the poll thing is at some point, but like there is like a percentile measure of yeah, you can't because of the like legal situation around it, right? You need to have a bank account of your own. And they're not a fan of your streaming, are they? Oh, once it starts following you around until you are able to eventually it away by giving it the last of the stuff on you. The only thing I did need magic bullet. And I'm here to work out a better process. You have achieved and effectively earned sugar magically plants to the sort of spirit, to the sort of free magic spirits enjoy. And at least when it's made by real model. The process using seems to be enjoyable. Spirits. Cloudy. You can send me a link. It won't appear on the screen, but I will still see it. Mobile. Basically, it's just saying mobile.twitch.tv. Sorry for the flashbang there. Yeah, I mean, that's fairly normal, right? Because ultimately what happens when someone is raiding you is they're saying, hey, I've stopped streaming, go check out this guy. At the same time, some people might only have set aside as much time for, you know, set up enough time for like one stream, and they don't have the time to stick around. And I don't think that's I know some things about it. I mean, you theoretically can, right? It's just another alphabet. But what's more interesting about Wingdings is, do you know why Wingdings exists? Oh wait, no, that's not the one. It's emojis before emojis were a thing, right? Like back in the day, so if I look up Wingdings, right, and I look up different symbols, right, these are all basically emojis. And because every version of Microsoft Office came with the Wingdings font, you could effectively use Wingdings in place of emojis. So let's say you wanted to have a bullet point, you can put S. This is an S. Or if you want a checkbox, you can do like an O or a P. Right? Or if you want like this bullet point or whatever else, right? Oh, and like capitals are a different letter entirely, right? So if you do capitals, you have different things. So Wingdings was emojis before emojis. It was a font that was when Windows was still using like UTF-8. No, it was still using ASCII. And yeah, basically you said, hey, anything that is labeled as in the font Wingdings, you use these symbols to replace these letters, and that means that you can, like, to anybody who has Windows computer, they can read it as the appropriate symbol, and suddenly you have symbols that you can put in. Those are also different. So if I pull up WinWriter, sorry for the flashbang again, but yeah, if I type in a symbol, oh no, it's Liberation Serve. Yep. Symbols are also different ones. So yep, that's what. So like in theory, there's like 3 different Wingdings fonts, right? There's Wingdings 2, and Wingdings 3. And if you look up like Wingdings, look up table. Yeah, but there are lookup sheets for all of these. So presumably, when you're first looking into this kind of thing, you can say, okay, I need a diamond. Okay, find out which one you want. Numbers, whatever else. And yeah. Yikes. Is it possible? I feel like that challenge is like a legitimate puzzle. The idea for Wingdings? Because back in the day, before the Unicode Consortium was a thing, there were only like 200 and... Oh, that challenge. It's from the game that Koba plays on Roblox. What's it called? Doors or something? Nice. Muffin was asking where your what do you call it? Where the challenge was that you were referring to. Oh, okay. So the water puzzles in Ultra Kill. Interesting. Um, 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 and then becomes how to produce enough of the thing. Nice. Kind of definitionally, yes, right? Definitionally, I think aerogels can only be solid. Like, you can suspend small amounts of aerogel in a liquid to get, like, something that approximates a fluid aerogel. Yeah, the paste version is small balls of normal solid aerogel in a binder. Now that you don't need to carry all 60 for the network at once, you can keep things far more reasonable. You can with enough for a single leg at a time on the Okay, good night. Hey Frank, how you doing? Pretty decent, I think. I'm currently rewriting a part of a chapter I wrote on Monday, and then for the game that I'm running, and then I'm going to finish work on the story. I made a little bit of progress off stream, so we're currently at 2,800 words, and we have a solid place to pick up at least another 500. Because I'm going to add a section about Jun considering the perk that they just got, which are described in story as visions. I had a bit of a scare with the roller, but turns out that the version that I have on my computer, so on my laptop was one roll out of sync. So when I tried to load up the save into the new roller, it was giving me different results. But then I realized that the version on my laptop was on 64, not 65. So I rolled once on the old roller, and then I transferred it over and matched, and I got put your back into it again. So it's confirmed as at least that's correct. That shit can carry of the enormous 20 meter all columns without significant without serious danger. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I mean, at least they're trusting you to know things. Hmm. Oh, well, you had already made the design. Something that you could that other people in the clan could make. You hadn't real. You had originally reworked the That people could focus on build. The said that build each of the columns and just leave it to young. Going to connect with the spinner. With the spinner, you no longer need to worry about young. However, you had also not done the math on just how many you need for this. As it that there's only enough. There are only enough sufficiently skilled to make 10 of these over the course. Alright. Well, if you dedicated all of your time. Uh, But 12 we dedicated all of it. That said, or more precisely, how or precise, just how easy it would be get a hold. So enough, enough people to me enough even your simplified design is only something that will take most people months to make. Carving use it takes you almost 3 weeks to almost 3 weeks to produce one of the one of the 20-meter tall column as it stands. Nice. Go for it, man. Good. Personally, I believe that they would definitely be interested in it. Because video game design and TTRPG design is not actually that different. When you really think about it, it isn't that different. Like, there are some differences in, like, the level of complexity you can get away with. But, like, especially in areas like accessibility, TTRPG design and video game design has significant overlap. For many, keeping establishing the correct magical structure is difficult. While your clan could produce it is. I get it. Well, your clan can could produce enough of them for this project. For the full a full project, it would only be possible if you task every artificer capable of creating such a thing, and had them going for the part of the season. Um, season. Not something you can afford to spare, given what just might be on the horizon. So you get to work simplifying. Thankfully, you now have a much better model of what a less mage of your clan is capable of. Hopeful is still an able mage, though he hasn't shown the same level of capability that you have managed to achieve. And with his insight, you are able to start redesign into something into something complete. Instead, the other part of your solution involves um um using the harmonization you develop alongside develop while working. Ooh, how'd you do it? Ooh, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah. Updated. I update. Okay. Mm, mm, it was strange how easy it was to leave. The vision that had struck them during the meeting had been almost had been practically perfect. Uh, um, uh, uh, mm, hmm. Vision that I struck them during the meeting. Yeah, practically. Um, um, until that even now, as the energy pulse in time, the drifted through their body. They uh, uh, mm, um, uh, they had already been pressing that they'd already been it. Just the passive effect of the energy that came with the visions had been enough that they often that they had to hide so that they stay largely so they had to restrain its use to private to their private lab or in-person training. But now they actually knew how to use it. Just as one vision had unlocked magic for all those years. This had unlocked the true nature of the light by the intent that blue that pass their hands with the their with a clear image of what they chose and applied focus. The handheld plasma cutter slice through the steel and through the alloys. That outfits the heavy equipment that was PvP arcs? I'm not sure what do you mean PvP? Oh, play by post. Okay. So basically what I'm not like, so previously I used to do it so that every day I had held a new vote on the next thing the main character was doing. Right? Like, and at the end of each vote, I would have a person. So I would have someone. So I would have people vote on what they want the next person to do. In terms of like the story arcs, but now I do it once a week. In terms of story arcs, well, story arcs are difficult. Like, I have several things planned, right, that have just kind of been going along. But what I try and do is I try and key it off of actions that happened not in the current arc, but the arc before it, right? So that there's a chance for people to, like address mistakes or other things that they might have considered. But like, for example, the current thing, like there are a few things that are coming up, right? In the first arc, it was a lot of build up. I was just letting people get used to the world. But they did a thing where they hired a person who was on the run from one of the major nations, right? And in that sense, I use that as a reference for how I wanted to plan out a major driving point for the future. And I was trying to figure out how I want to do that. And then I also know something that I want to do for the far future, right? Basically, I have an idea for what would happen in this story if the players weren't involved, and like the major plot events. So currently, we're on like arc 1.3, if you want to think about it that way. So arc 1 is the... Oh wait, I need to switch to the writing category. But yeah, arc 1 is the everything is still on the Crossroads continent. Everyone is you're still kind of locked in there. But we're starting to see influence from the outside world, from like continents beyond the Crossroad continent, which is leading into the next major arc where you're finally opening up to the whole world that's there. Then in the sub-arcs, I was like, okay, so arc 1 was about building up the Karasumi. I'm allowing the players as much free reign as they can. Arc 2 is like the immediate politics of the stuff that's coming up as a result of that, ending with the marriage to the Tsubasa. And right around the start of all of this, say the start of the first arc is when I gave them the option to recruit Akamaru. Some stuff happened during the second half of the first arc where people were basically being given signs that having hired Akamaru is inviting trouble. You need to either prepare for that or figure out some other solution. There was some stuff that some of the actions they took in response to that made me feel as though they were more on the side of, okay, we want to like fight with this. So they did stuff like involving themselves in the arms, in the fight against, like in the proxy war against the Sky Kingdom, yada yada. And as around that time when things were happening, we also introduced the marriage candidates. And I brought up as a plot point that one of the marriage candidates was from this nation that your clan had previously had different, a negative relationship with. But the players kind of ignored that, pretty much, where they were like, okay, sure, I guess she's in trouble. So I used that as sort of a justification for how I was gonna play that. And that's kind of how I keep building out the story from what's already happened, right? I divide the sub-arcs into... I try and pick a key event early in the sub-arc to decide what happens next in the sub-arc. In this case... yeah, I pull on the ones that people interact with. That was producing the panel on ones. So the other side. Normally free-handing cuts like this would be insane, especially for the precise geometry needed for one of the things that's, if you're really concerned about preparation, one of the things that you can consider is what's called like a false choice, where you give your players what looks like a choice, but you have the same thing happen at the end of both choices, just like kind of reskinned, right? So think of it like, let's say that you have a D&D party who's in a tavern looking at quests on the quest board. One quest has them going into the swamp to recover some item. The other one has them going into the desert to rescue a person that was... someone is going to desert to find an item, or going into the swamp to... yeah. But let's say that you have two plots that the players can pick between. There is a person that was kidnapped and taken deep into the swamp, and there's an item that was lost by a trading party that was going through the desert. Regardless of where you pick them, you could say, oh, in the desert there are like these dry husk-like zombies that have been resurrected by a necromancer who wanted to steal some stuff from the caravan, or in the bog, there is a necromancer who has captured this person to use them as part of a ritual. In the desert, the dry husk-like mummy zombies have a bind attack where they can like wrap you up in their bandages and draw life force from you. In the swamp, they they're able to like animate the roots and stuff to latch onto you and start draining life out of you. See, same thing, but just reskinned slightly for the different situations. And it still feels like there's a lot of choice, but at the end of the day, they're still fighting a necromancer with a bunch of life-draining undead minions. Another thing that might be pretty useful is have an idea of what the world would look like without the players, right? So think about what would happen in this world if the players weren't there. If you know what's going to happen in this area roughly, if the players don't do anything, then you can more easily figure out what impact the players have had on the situation. Yeah. Normally, Jin wasn't. And perhaps, before this, it definitely would have. Now, their plasma cuts were, lines through the metal. Great enough to check against an edge with against a surface tall as I check against again surface plate. Plates. Should they choose their seemingly random flicks of their wrist left behind intricate features that would normally be impossible to do. It would normally take hours of delicate machining without automation. With the class. The vision was the vision I made was almost with just how much it had amplified their work. It had not only in tone, not only in terms of their ability to build things, Uh, hmm. Just some. Also, them as the as the easily lifted the and in the direction of the space. It was landing precise in as John this up well done. Set to work once more. Standard. Work once on the successful on okay. As they approach the next menu, node, as they approach next. Things seem, if nothing, the data was really use. If nothing else, the data was extremely useful. Oh, you're fine. Redesign. There were signs of concern. Likely due to just how much, due to the fact that was putting this atop far more thrust than the design was ever meant for. But that there was but that data was still extremely indicative of just how Data was extremely indicative of just how of the key material. Thankfully, there were what signs were there? So what signs there were? Mostly. Ooh. Just roll. This is what dice were made for. Just drop your least favorite and roll a d12, or just do a d13 in a computer. Definitely not a major issue for this particular. I'm checking the Jim began the entering the to the 10 to the right to orbit. They said that they had this. Oumuamua was on the nice. Are you going to set the fight to some pop rock music? Oh. Gods. I just like pulled up the Evanescence songs, and the first one that comes up is "Bring Me Back to Life." Was it "Bring Me to Life"? This one. Uh, where they had. I mean, they did just kind of disappear. Or are they still around? Are they still a thing? When was their last song? Apparently, they did some songs like 2 years ago, but I haven't heard of it. Like, most of their shit's from 16 years ago. Apparently, it's for the My Immortal movie or some shit. Everything I recognize is from 16 years ago. Quite close. I mean, I think it's kind of the opposite, right? Because Greta Thunberg is more about figuring out a more permanent state of things, right? She's saying that the current system is impermanent, right? It's doomed to failure and will cause a lot of problems in the future. She is advocating for a more permanently sustainable solution. So she's more likely to be an instrument of permanence rather than a instrument of impermanence. So this is like impermanence to make way for permanence? A few degrees of inclination. Enough of that over the enough perspectives to properly map and around. Ongoing. Their eyes to the network. It's almost as the Ethiopian forces fired off what At least a dozen. Core words. The uh, towards the incoming core. You listen to some of the songs? The ASFs seem to be as they quickly move, and the transponders on the core and the missiles disappeared. Began to disappear. A few still landed. One of the leopards. Both on unions that were able to shrug off. The damage. damage as they made their way to life. It was they were indeed clear. As Jude began to deploy the Nothad, they tracked to ASF transponders heading for the thrusters. As the nomads, as the satellite, the thrusters began to fired and the station thrusters began to fire, and it settled into the holding into the appropriate orbit. Virgin watched as the transponders disappeared from the display. you see that? Regular. Voice straight. They seem to have serious anti-air capabilities. They're definitely entrenching themselves. The no cloud in position. Do you have signal? Oh, sorry. Clusters to data. We'll have to try and keep eye on that. For now, will be. For now. Well, we'll have to try and keep an eye for now. The no clouds condition. Do you are you getting signal? Keys. The sound. The sound of keys clacking. Came back over the before. Pause. We've yep. We have a signal. Bring the ISAPs back down. Um, the return journey was much less. Uh, 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 much less, much less hurried. Unlike the takeoff, there really wasn't much. Journey was much less uneven. The destruction of 2 ASFs had been more than enough to spook the ISF away from additional attacks. Though a second for Tom Volley had been attempted, though similarly hindered by though similarly intercepted by the enemy, yes, enemy. We have the news from Jim asked. They made their way into the bunker under the main the Juma ship. No, the yeah, is keeping keeping the analysis of the invasion confident. We only really have these the or the flight control the aerospace traffic data to go off its, and now that they've landed, it's clear that that's pretty use the Illyrian, since we aren't getting a follow-up attempt on The on there. House. November. The news, they did eventually get an answer as to what the invaders were doing a few days. Seemingly repaired and refueled. The earlier and ESF. Took to these guys. And in seemingly random bombing, they carrying out attack runs and bombing raid on seemingly random. It wasn't long before Juma realized. How the fuck do they know? Aren't sure. But I know a couple of those sites. And those are pretty refuel maintenance locations for the ISF air wing here. Their locations are supposed to be and you know a couple. As I know that a couple of them are near. I know a few towns that we recruited some forces locally when we started, and well, there were that we can't say what. Juma shrugged. But I've been trying to find us some options for Earth. I've been trying to find us some options for Earth support. Okay, cheers. I'm actually about to drop off myself. I just need to. There a couple of towns are notable towns near. There are towns near a couple of those sites that are known for producing that can with combat aviation. But things weren't far enough along. See if you can find out if anyone we've got the material, and if the conflict gets bad enough, I'm sure they'll make do with something we whip up in place of nothing. Looking away. He agreed. Worker. Any signs of people coming for stuff? And the woods and being pretty obvious. There isn't a land connection between no, not yet. We have an ocean between us and them now, so we should be able to help the situation. Hmm. Hmm. Um, 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 hmm. Okay, let's wrap up. Bye.